Hey guys, welcome back to the pharmacotherapy series on Pharma Palette. This is the final part of our arrhythmia series. So far, we learned what arrhythmias are, how they present, how they are diagnosed, and how the atrial arrhythmias are treated. Today, we will complete the picture. We will discuss the ventricular arrhythmias, bradyarrhythmias, and most importantly, the treatment approach that helps us decide what to do when we encounter these rhythms in clinical practice. And before we begin, I just want to say this. I know arrhythmias can feel like a huge topic. So, but if you have followed the series until now, you are probably realizing that it's not as scary as it first seemed. So, one concept at a time, one rhythm at a time, that's how the understanding is built. So, without any further delay, let's get into the video. So, premature ventricular complexes. So, PVCs are generally the heartbeats, which are early heartbeats that usually originate from the ventricles before the next normal heartbeat occurs. So, these PVCs are usually harmless and also can occur in the healthy individuals. The treatment approach mainly depends on the presence of symptoms and also the underlying heart disease. And in the patients, if they do not have any structural heart disease and if they are asymptomatic, the treatment is usually not required. So the regular follow up is sufficient. And second one is the use of this anti-arrhythmic drugs is generally not recommended because if we use this anti-arrhythmic drugs regularly, this will be suppressing the asymptomatic PVC. And also, beta blockers will be used as a first line therapy mainly for the symptomatic PVC patient and also the high risk patients. Beta blockers can be useful for reducing the symptoms if the patient is not having any significant heart disease. So, ventricular tachycardia or VT is the fast heart rhythm that starts in the ventricles of the heart. And this is one of the serious arrhythmias because this will be it can reduce the blood flow to the body. And in case of this acute ventricular tachycardia, treatment mainly based on the patient condition. Like if the patient is severe and if the patient is having severe symptoms and also if the patient is unstable, in such conditions, immediate synchronized cardioversion, which is DCC, should be performed, which is usually a simple electrical shock should be given. And in case if the patient is stable, in such conditions, anti-arrhythmic drugs can be used mainly to control this rhythm. And in case of the sustained VT or the recurrent VT, implantable cardioverter defibrillator, simply the ICD is the treatment of choice. This is a device which will be usually detecting the dangerous rhythms and also it will be delivering the shock when it is needed. So the main goal of this treatment is mainly to restore the normal sinus rhythm and also to prevent the sudden cardiac death. So ventricular proarrhythmia means it is one of the serious condition where the antiarrhythmic drugs themselves are responsible for getting new arrhythmias. So this is mainly caused by class 1C antiarrhythmic drugs. So in this condition, it is difficult to reverse this and also it requires the immediate medical attention. So treatment includes mainly the stopping of this offending drug and also using the drugs like lidocaine and sodium bicarbonate because these will be reducing the sodium channel blockade. And the main goal is to stabilize the patient and also to restore the normal sinus rhythm. Torsades de Pointes is one of the special type of ventricular tachycardia. In this condition, we can see the prolonged QT interval and this has to be treated quickly or else it will be leading to severe complications. So in these conditions, the drug of choice is magnesium sulfate which will be given through the IV route and this has to be given to the patient even his magnesium levels are normal. So ventricular fibrillation is one of the medical emergency because in this condition the ventricles will be start shaking instead of pumping the blood effectively. So because of this the blood circulation will be stopping and the patient may have loss of consciousness. In such conditions immediate treatment should begin with CPR and defibrillation should be done as soon as possible and also management should follow all the current guidelines like ACC and AHA guidelines and the main goal is to restore the effective heart rhythm and to prevent the sudden cardiac death. Just remember one thing in the bradyarrhythmias. First thing, in this condition, bradyarrhythmia, the heart rate will be slow than the normal. The heart rate will be slow compared to normal. So, in the asymptomatic sinus bradycardia, because there is no symptoms, no treatment is needed. In case of symptomatic sinus bradycardia, here you need to identify the underlying cause, you need to identify and you need to correct it. So, if the slow heart rate, if it is persisting and if the slow heart rate is causing symptoms, a permanent pacemaker can be used as a long-term management. And next one is the carotid sinus hypersensitivity. That means it is a condition where there is pressure on this carotid sinus, which will be causing the excessive slowing of this heart rate. Already there is heart rate. Because of this carotid sinus pressure, the heart rate is getting even more slower. In these conditions, a permanent pacemaker can be used as a treatment of choice. Patients can have the benefits if you give the midodrine kind of drugs. If in case the person is having vasovagal syncope, beta blockers can be used as a first line drugs. So for the second degree and third degree AV block, which are usually the emergency conditions, in this condition atropine is first given, and if atropine is ineffective, the transcutaneous pacing will be done. Along with that, the epinephrine infusion or the dopamine infusion can be given. For patients with this chronic symptomatic AV block, a permanent pacemaker can be used as a treatment of choice. So the management of bradyarrhythmia mainly depends on the cause and the severity. And also pacemaker therapy will be used in case of symptomatic cases. So let's get back to the last part of the video, the treatment algorithm of arrhythmias. So let's quickly understand the treatment approach for arrhythmias. The first step is to assess whether the patient is hemodynamically stable or unstable. If the patient is stable, you need to identify the type of the arrhythmia. So for the bradyarrhythmias, atropine can be given first, and if this is ineffective, if it is not working, the transcutaneous pacing can be done, or you can give the dopamine or epinephrine infusion can be used. And in case of tachyarrhythmias, treatment mainly depends on the ECG findings. So in case of this narrow QRS regular tachycardia, in this narrow regular tachycardia, you will be starting with the vagal manners. If this is unsuccessful, you will give the adenosine. Then you can also give beta blockers or the calcium channel blockers like verapamil can be used if needed. And next one is in case of this atrial fibrillation and atrial flutter, the focus is on the rate control by using the beta blockers and also the diltiazem. So anticoagulation and cardioversion may also be considered. And for this wide QRS tachycardia, which is often a ventricular tachycardia, drugs such as amiodarone or the procainamide can be used. And if the patient is unstable, you have to perform the cardioversion. For the ventricular fibrillation, immediate defibrillation is required. Along with that, CPR, epinephrine or amiodarone according to the resuscitation guidelines. For the long-term management, always treat the underlying cause. Some patients may require the pacemaker, permanent pacemaker or the implantable cardioverter defibrillator also known as ICD. So if the patient is unstable in such conditions, immediate synchronized cardioversion can be performed to restore the sinus rhythm. So remember, you have to first thing you need to access the stability, identify the arrhythmia, provide the appropriate treatment and plan the long-term management. That's it. And with that, we have completed our arrhythmia series. Honestly, this is one of those topics that look overwhelming when you first open the chapter. There are different rhythms, ECG findings, treatment strategies, and drug therapies. But now I want you to ask yourself a simple question. Are you getting more clarity than when you started? If the answer is yes, even a little, then you have made progress. And that's what learning is all about. Not understanding everything in one day, but understanding a little more today than yesterday. Thank you for spending your time with me throughout the series. I truly appreciate every student who stayed till the end and learned along with me. In our upcoming pharmacotherapy series, we will continue simplifying complex topics and connecting them to the real clinical practice and patient care. So see you all in the next video. If you found this video helpful, Don't forget to like the video, share it with your study partner, and subscribe to Pharma Palette. See you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.